Hi everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecolored.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me for today. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I normally make a card or a box or some other paper crafty project and I show you how I've made it. And today I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about some of the things that Stampin' Up sell that are maybe not quite as exciting as, you know, the beautiful papers and the lovely ribbons and the beautiful embellishments and things we do. And I wanted to take a bit of time to talk about those basics because, you know, we kind of assume that everybody knows this stuff and maybe you don't. Now, I just want to, spoiler alert right at the beginning, I'm not going to be making a project or anything today. So if that was what you were looking for, please feel free to leave me now and come back to another project later on when I will be doing a card or a box or whatever it is I have in the pipeline. And if that's you, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. If you've stayed with me, I can now assume that you're interested in knowing a little bit about how the Stampin' Up stamps come to you and my top tip for using them. So this is the catalogue, and the kind of things that we're probably going to be talking a bit about today are usually towards the back of the catalogue. But I want to start out with talking about the varieties of stamps that we have. Now, there are basically two kinds. There are the red rubber mount stamps and the photopolymer stamps. And most of the red rubber stamps come in two varieties. They are either for mounting on a clear block, which we call clear mount, and this set is one such, or they come with wood blocks and you mount the stamps onto the wood blocks. Now the wood block stamps, they have the advantage of a wood block stamp is that it's always ready. Okay, you just take it out of the box, ink it up, and you're good to go. They do take up a bit more space because you're also storing the stamp and the block, and because you're also buying the block, they're a bit more expensive. So most of the stamps that I have are clear mount. I do have some wood block ones, largely because I ordered them by mistake and then decided, you know what, I may as well keep them. But clear mount is generally the way that I go. But I do like the wood block ones. I do like the wood mounted stamps because, as I said, you know, if you're in a hurry, they're very, very quick. The other variety that we do is photopolymer. Now, most of the photopolymer stamps in our catalogue only come as photopolymer. I think there are a few sets where you have the choice of the red rubber or the photopolymer. This is photopolymer. As you can see, it's see-through, it's clear. So, advantage of this is you can see exactly where you're stamping. Disadvantage, not everybody likes photopolymer. Because there isn't a cushion underneath them, you do have to be very, very careful when you're stamping them. And particularly if it's a large area of photopolymer, then they can be tricky to stamp. They can be difficult to stamp. So you usually need to have something that is fairly squishy underneath. I use my silicone mat. People use the pricking mat. You know, a pile of newspapers, pile of copy paper, anything like that. But you do need something to press into. The other thing about photopolymer stamps is if they are good quality, and Stampin' Up photopolymer stamps are very good quality, they do stain. Now that's not a problem for me because for me this is a tool, and as long as it works properly, I don't care if it's got, you know, if you can see red ink on it from a previous use. The reason why it stains is because good photopolymer is full of tiny, tiny little invisible pores that hold the ink, and you need them there because that's what holds the ink. And when you clean it, some of that ink then remains within those pores, and you just can't get it out no matter how you try. It's a problem for some people, not a problem for me, and I know there are some people who just don't like photopolymer. I happen to love it. I really think it's great because I like to see where I'm stamping, because I am the world's greatest cockeyed stamper. Okay, so I want to talk a bit about the red rubber stamps to begin with. Now, when you get them, bit of work. They come to you like this. This set is Holly Jolly Layers, and it's one of our reward sets. You can only get this if you place an order of £150 or more, and then you can buy it at a very reasonable rate, but only if you buy only if you spend £150 or more in one order. So this is how they come to you, and they are all still on the red rubber sheet, and on the back of them they have a release paper. Now I'm going to take I'll take the square one off because that's going to be the easiest one. Now, many people have found that if they use the index sheets, which are these things here, their stamps don't cling as well to their blocks. And you will quite often see videos of Stampin' Up demonstrators and the back of the stamp is looking like that, okay, because that clings well. And if you find that and that's the way you want to work, you know, go do it. There are no Stampin' Up police. Nobody's going to come around and tell you you're doing it wrong. I am very sorry for the rather abrupt cut here, but somebody came to the door and I had to go and deal with it. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going to make the cut on the bit that I did before. I'm obviously going to cut it before the bit where the doorbell went. But just to recap, I have my cling stamp here, my rubber stamp, and I've taken the paper backing off, and that's exposed this clingy surface. Now, a lot of people like to work on that surface. I find if I don't index my stamps, I will stamp them upside down, in the wrong place, back to front. If there's a wrong way of doing it, I will do it. All right. So for my own sanity, I index my stamps. You don't have to. So this is how the backings come to you, and they are paper backed, and the paper is split in half. And what I like to do is, if possible, I like to keep it in the backing paper as long as possible, and I like to keep half of the stamp on there so that I've got some wiggle time and some wiggle room. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up, checking first that I do have the stamp the right way up, because that's been known to happen as well. And I'm just going to push that down when I'm happy with it. Now when I pull that away, the whole thing comes with it, and I can just take the backing off this half of the stamp, and I can just smooth that bit down. It is worth taking a little bit of time with these, okay, and getting a good adhesion between the two bits. Sometimes if you're a little bit too quick, you can get air bubbles in there, like I think I have this time, or if you're not 100% careful about how you put them down, I have been known to get a slight curve in my stamps. It's not good for them, okay. So I will go on and do the rest of them, but I'm not going to do them all now. It would be here all day. But the other thing that you can do, if you choose, you haven't got to do this, if you take this cling backing off, all of it, just like that, and you can then fit your rubber backing into your case, like so, and if you've got one missing, you can immediately see where it is and slot it back inside. So that is my top tip for indexing rubber stamps. I want to talk a bit about the blocks before we go on to talk about the photopolymer ones. These are Stampin' Up blocks. There are lots of clear blocks on the market. I think I've probably tried quite a lot of them, and I don't know why. It's not really something I can put my finger on, but Stampin' Up blocks are just better. Okay, I've got the skinny blocks, I've got the fat blocks, I've got the rocker blocks, I've got all of those. Stampin' Up blocks are just better. I don't know what it is about them. They're a really good weight. They have these nice little grooves on them so that you've got something to grip in. And while I wouldn't say go out and completely replace your block wardrobe, definitely if you're buying blocks, if you're in the market for blocks, please do think about the Stampin' Up blocks. Now, I've bought a B block and a C block. This is a C block because they are they're sizes I use quite often, and I found I wanted more than one of them. I've got 2 A blocks, which is quite handy, but I was finding that sometimes I needed the extra B in the C block, so I've treated myself. All right, and remember I said that these don't always cling terribly well to the block. I have got a hack for that, a fix for that, and that is this stuff. It's called Invisigrip. It's marketed at quilters, so you will find it, you know, possibly in stores where they sell quilting supplies. I got it from Amazon, and you get a piece that is, and I've torn the top off you, it's 12.5 inches by 1 yard. All right, so that is covering blocks. That is quite a lot. I have covered, I've covered all my blocks, including my old ones. I put it on the back of my transparent ruler. I've put it on pretty much anything that I think is likely to slip, because what this does is that it adds an extra layer to your stamping, to your block, and makes it cling a bit better to the stamp. And that was really good. I got a pen that has got hardly any ink in it at all, so you just have to trust me when I tell you that I can see the marks that I've made there. So I'm just going to chop this, and this, it has a paper back to it. This side is a clingy plastic and this side is a paper back, and I'm just going to cut just inside those lines that I drew, and I will probably have to come back and trim it a bit more later on. Okay, move that out of my way, and I'm putting this on one side of the block, and I will keep that side of the block for my cling rubber stamps, but I won't put one on the other side because that side will be used for photopolymer stamps. So I'm just going to squish that down, and I've got an old, well, it was something that came with a gift card on it actually, and I'm just going to use that to stick it into place. Alright, and that now will stay on my block. Let me get all the air bubbles out of it, and if I just fetch back the stamp that I just indexed, that now, it's too big for it, but never mind, you get the idea. Good push, and that is on. Okay, do one more time. Should I push my luck? That is not coming off. And if you do have a problem with your stamps clinging to your blocks, the thing to do is clean your block. Okay, because it works by sort of static cling effect, and it helps if your block is clean. Okay, and if you really still have trouble, a little bit of glue stick on the back of the stamp, that will help as well. So in a moment, I'm off screen, I will go and I will block up that one, but this one can now go into my box of blocks. And this is one of our wood mount stamp cases. I'm probably going to have to do a bit of reorging of these at some point. And these are very, very useful, and again, these are things that are at the back of the catalogue, and they come in a pack of 4, I think it is. I just bought some, came in my latest order, and I use them for keeping all sorts of things in. And we do them in other sizes as well. We do this size, which is half of that, and they do this size, which is the sort of the DVD case size. And as you can see, I've got flowers in there, and this is going to have my my enamel dots in. I have to keep my enamel dots in one place, so might as well put them in while I'm in the neighbourhood. Okay, and I will go and find a little elastic band a bit later on and put it round the various sheets. Aren't they pretty? These are the Regals. Aren't they gorgeous? Love them! Like the cherry cobbler. I think they may be coming to a project near you in the foreseeable future. Okay. Tuck that up, close it, and pop them out of the way. Right, what else before I go? Oh yes, Photopolymer stuff. Let me bring in this set. Isn't this gorgeous? Paisleys and Posies. I just got an order yesterday, which is why I'm doing this today, while I've still got the things that I haven't indexed and haven't unwrapped. Okay. When you get them, they come with a sheet over the top of them, which we don't need, and they've got an index sheet on the back. Now, what I like to do with these, and I'm just going to pull all of these off, and I think I'll fast forward this bit. Do you know, that took some time. You get an awful lot of stamps in this one. Okay, so this, I have the index piece, and I'm going to pop that between the outer cover of the case and the plastic. And I've put it so that I can read the writing from the outside, not from the inside. And the reason for that is that if you have it that way around, and you then do what I'm going to do, which is match up the stamp with the image, you have the whole of the backing sticking to the underlying plastic, and it will cling a bit better. And I'm just going to work my way through and put these back. So again, if I've got a stamp out, if there's a stamp missing, when I come to do clear up at the end of a crafting session, I know immediately if there's a stamp missing. And with these little, the little teeny tiny ones like this one, that can be, they're very easy to mislay. And I don't know whether you've had the experience of turning the house upside down looking for a small stamp or a small die that you've put down in a pile of papers, and you don't know what you've done with it. Did it get picked up when you did the clear up? Have you thrown it out? We've all, I think most of us have been through that. I certainly have. Let's put it like that. Okay, and we just put them back where they belong. Now, they will lose their cling as time goes on. They will lose their cling because every time they're exposed to the air, they pick up little bits of dust, and it stops them. It stops them clinging so well. But if that happens, all you have to do is give them a wash. So some warm water with a bit of washing up liquid in it. That'll be fine. And if that doesn't work, then if you have a little alcohol wipe, so the kind of thing that they use in hospitals to rub on your skin before you have an injection, one of those, and you rub the back of those, that will bring the sticky right back. Okay, and there they all are, all nicely in their home, and I can see immediately if one is missing. And that's it for today, folks. Thank you very, very much for joining me. And 3, 2, 1. So that's all I've... 3, 2, 1. So that is it for now. And thank you very, very much for staying with me till the end of this video. Appreciate that it's not my usual style, and I hope that you've enjoyed it anyway. And if so, please do give me a like, click the subscribe button, share the video, visit my blog, Facebook page, or even my online store. Details underneath this video. I will be posting more of my normal paper crafty type projects very, very soon. So if you want to come back and join me, I'd be thrilled to see you again. But for now, thank you very much again, and bye-bye.